Okay, so let's see if we can fill in the blanks here. First, we're going to talk about slope-intercept form. So when we're graphing in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, we use the equation to find the slope and the y-intercept. The blank is the value m. What word goes in that blank? Slope. Yeah, slope goes in the blank. So we're just going to put the word slope right in there. Slope is m. And the blank is the value b in y equals mx plus b. That would be the y-intercept. Great. We know those two things, so we can graph the line, okay? The notes, the directions on how to do this are right here. You don't have to copy them down. They're given to you. Step 1, we're going to put the y-intercept on the grid. Step 2, we're going to use the slope, and this is super important because slope is rise over run, okay? Maybe you saw some of those questions in that game, okay? Starting from the y-intercept to find the next point on the line, okay? So if your slope is positive, you're going up and to the right. If your slope is negative, you're going down and to the right. Notice you're always going to the right, okay? That's because if you go down and left, those are both negative directions, which would make a positive slope. Okay? All right, so let's try this out. So we're going to look at example A. F of x, we know that to be the same as y, right? It's just a function, equals 3x. Okay, so we want to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So slope is m, y-intercept is b. So slope, y-intercept, okay? So the 3, what would that be, the m or the b? That's the slope. Slope is always going to be with your x, okay? So the slope is 3. What about the y-intercept?
0.
It's 0. We don't see one, right? So it's 0, okay? We have all that we need to make the line. So step 1, we're going to put the y-intercept on the grid. Remember, the y-axis is the one that goes up and down. So we're going to find 0 on the y-axis, which is right here. Put a point. Then we count out our slope, okay? Now, when your slope is a whole number, there's something under it. What's under it? 1, okay? So that means we're going to go up 3 and to the right 1. So up 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1 point. And then you just keep going until you filled all of the space on your grid. 1, 2, 3, right 1. Okay? When you run out of room, because it will happen, see if you can fit any more points on the other side of your y-intercept. And we can continue them if we just do the opposite. So we can also go down 3 and left 1, because down and left are both negative directions, and 2 negatives make positive. So that's how we can keep the same slope. And you guys, you can't really mess this up, because if you happen to move the wrong way, you'll know it because it won't look like a line. It'll look like a weird, okay? So if you mess that up, it's easy to fix. Okay, once we fill out all of our points, we're going to grab something that's a straight edge, like your ID or a ruler. For quiz day, I'll put rulers out, but just use your ID or a piece of paper. Make a straight edge. Connect your points, okay? And then very important, we can't leave it like that. We have to put arrows on our line. If we don't have arrows, that's not a line. That's a line segment, right? And that's not what we're graphing. We're graphing lines, okay? Any questions I can answer for you about this one? Okay, let's try another one that's got a little bit more going on. Okay? All right, so let's look at B, or example B. All right, first thing we're going to do is identify our slope and identify our y-intercept. Okay? All right, Corbin, can you give us a slope on that one?
4 over 3.
Yes, negative 4 over 3. Yep, that negative is going to imply a negative slope. Okay? All right, and Kaysen, how about the y-intercept?
Negative 8.
-8, very good. Okay. All right, now we're gonna plot those things, but the one we put first is the b, the y-intercept. So on our y-axis, we find negative 8, which is down here. Put our point. Then we're going to count out our slope. If the slope is negative 4 over 3, that means we're going to count down 4 and right 3. We always, but there's no space, right? Okay, so what that means is we're not going to be able to, I mean, I guess you could try to eyeball it, but that, you know. So we can't go this way, so we're going to have to go in the other direction. So we're going to have to move in the opposite direction. So the opposite of down is up, and the opposite of right is left. So we're going to go up 4 and to the left 3. And then we repeat that process. And I can go one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, but I still have a negative slope, and the negative slope will fall from left to right. Okay? All right. Grab your straight edge, make your line. Whoops. Messed up there. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. Y'all take a second and try example C. Okay? I'm going to give you about a minute on the timer to try that. Okay? And then we'll go over it. So worst thing that could happen is you don't do it correctly and you fix it. No big deal. Okay? So we're trying C. Okay, let's go over this one. Okay. All right, so first we're going to identify M and B. Okay, Tristan, what's our slope? 2 over 3. Awesome. Jeffrey, what's our y-intercept? 2. Very good. All right, putting it all together on the y-axis. 2, because that's your y-intercept, that's your B, right? And then our slope 2/3. We go up 2 and right 3. So our line should increase from left to right, right? So up 2, right 1, 2, 3. And I saw perfect 1, 2, 3 lines. 1, 2. I can't talk and count at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Down 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right. Good job. Make my line. Well, that wasn't perfect, but it's all right. Okay, basic slope-intercept form. We good? Any questions before we move on? Okay, now, sometimes you're going to be given an equation that isn't perfectly in one of these forms, okay? Like this one. X is coming second, okay? But you can easily rewrite it to be in this form. All you got to do is switch these around, okay? You can rewrite that. But what you have to realize is which one of these gets that negative sign, gets that minus sign. The X, okay? We always look at what's in front of our term to know the sign. So that negative is going to travel with the X. So if I rearrange my terms, it would look like y equals negative x plus 3. and that 3 is positive. Okay? So we might need to rearrange terms a little bit. So let's see. M in this case would be -1. We got a little bit of the invisible math, right? You don't see a number in front of that x, it's a 1, and the negative would be -1, and our b would be 3. So we go 3 on the y-axis, and we go down 1. And remember, if our slope is a whole number, there's a 1 underneath it. So down 1, right 1. Up 1, left 1, and there we go. All right. Okay, so slope-intercept form. There's about 3 days of Algebra 1 in just a few minutes. Good? Maybe a little bit. You'll get a chance to practice. Don't worry. Okay, let's look at point-slope form. Okay, this one is very similar, except instead of starting at a y-intercept, you start at the point they give you in the problem. Okay, they're going to give you a point. Now here's the key. Here's point-slope form. Okay, notice that there's minus signs in this form. Okay. That means the minus signs aren't part of the x1 and the y1, they're part of the formula. All right, so if I see x minus 4, that minus sign is part of the formula, so that x1 is actually a 4. Okay, so what might be helpful is to remember that these numbers are going to be opposite. Okay, we'll see that in an example. Okay, so the blank is the value m. We know what that is. That's slope. Okay, and then the blank is x1, y1. That is the given point. Okay, so step 1, we figure out that point and we plot it first. Then we count out our slope from that point. Okay, all right, now what I meant about if you want to make an additional little note here, what you need to remember is that the x1 and the y1 look opposite in the equation. Okay, so think opposite. So for instance, in our the example that's done, the given point is -3, 5. Now how that looks in the equation down here, x1 is -3, so look how that shows up in the equation. You have a plus sign because we have minus what number? -3. And when you have minus and negative, it turns into plus, yeah, positive. And then our y1 would just look like that, y minus 5, okay? So let's try graphing one. Let's look at example E, okay? Let's first identify the given point, okay? And it might be helpful in the beginning to rewrite the form right on top of the problem. Okay, that way you can easily grab those numbers, okay? Okay, so our point, I'm looking for the x1. Now x is on the right side. They're kind of in the opposite order too, right? So what number is our x1? What number's in the spot for x1? I heard someone whisper it. You're right. Say it louder. 3. Yeah, positive 3, because that minus sign is part of the formula. So we put a 3 here. And then the y1, okay, I see a plus 2. So if that's a plus 2, it must mean that the y1 is -2, because it would be y minus -2. Minus a negative is plus. So 3, -2. Okay? And so we can graph that point. So now we're not starting at a y-intercept, we're starting at this point. So 3 is our x, -2 is our y. That's our point that we're starting at. Then we use our slope to get the rest of the line, okay? Our slope, more invisible math. I just see a negative sign. It's -1, right? Or -1/1. So from the point that we plotted, down 1, right 1. Down and right, down and right. Run out of room, up and left, up and left. All right, let me grab our ruler or a straight edge. Make our line. All right. Okay. So it's just like slope-intercept form, but we have an extra step of figuring out where we start. Okay. Questions? Let's try another one. Okay. So, example F. I'm gonna write the formula right above it just to help. This also helps you remember the form. You don't have to look back. Okay. All right. Let's figure out what our given point is. Okay. So our x1. Anyone know our x1? -3. Yeah. And our y1, +2. All right, because it's opposite the way that it looks in the problem. So -3, +2. X and y, right there. And then we use our slope. Dale, what's our slope? It's not 2. Look at what's in the place of m. 1/5. Yep. So from our point, we're going to count up 1, right 5. So go up 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 5. Run out of room. Go back to the point that we started at. Go down and left. Down 1. And we can connect. All right. Okay. Before I have you try a couple on your own to see how you get it, do you have any questions for me? Okay. You may, as you try these on your own. Oh, actually, skip G for the time being. I want you to try H, okay? I'm gonna give you another minute to figure out the point and the slope and make that graph. And if you finish early, you can try G, but I was gonna do that one with you. H, yeah, that one. So skip over, whoops. Skip over G for the time being. Okay. should have given you a little bit more time on that one. If you're in the middle of plotting, go ahead and finish up. All right. Okay. Given point. +2, +8. Yes? You get that? Great. That's the x one, it's +2. That's the y one, it's +8. Okay? So we go and graph that. X is 2, y is 8, it's way up here. Okay. Slope is -1/3, which means we're going to go down 1 and right 3. Okay? Because we want our line to go down as we move from left to right. So down 1, right 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 1, 2. Run out of room, do the opposite. Up 1, left 3. Okay? Okay. Good? Okay. Now, we look at G, I don't know what form that is. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I want you to take a few seconds and think about, if you had to make a choice, is it slope-intercept or point-slope? Make a choice in your head, and then I'm gonna have you talk with somebody else about it. But think, so take about 10 seconds and make a choice in your head. Okay, now you're gonna turn to the person you're sitting next to, or if you're not, you could like make a triad and say, I think it's this form because, so I think it's slope-intercept because, or I think it's point-slope because. Okay? All right, you got 1 minute each, everybody says it and go. There's also no right or wrong answer to this.
Oh, this one.
So I think it's this form because okay. All right, let's survey here. Who thinks it's slope-intercept form? Raise your hand. Okay, 4, 5. Point-slope, raise your hand. Okay, as long as you raised your hand, you are right. You're only wrong if you didn't participate. It's both. You could see it differently, right? Like you could see this as point slope if you just throw a little x minus 0 in there. Now it's point slope form, right? Those of you who saw it like that probably saw that. Or you could say, you know what, this is very easily slope-intercept form if I just move, because you know in algebra you can move stuff around, right? You just have to do it correctly. So you can move that +4 over here by subtracting 4. Is that what a lot of y'all saw? So in slope-intercept form, it's y equals 5x minus 4. So if you had something like that on a test or quiz or whatever, there's no wrong way. You just have to graph the line correctly, right? So however we look at it, 0, -4, whether you see that as slope-intercept or point-slope, that's where we start. And then we go up 5, right 1. Yep, ran out of room, so down 5, left 1. All right? Okay. Okay, what questions do you have for me before we transition to you starting your assignment? There's more, right? But we're gonna do it tomorrow, okay? All right. So keep your notes somewhere safe. Maybe you need them to do your, to help you. Okay, so this is your first assignment. CYU stands for Check Your Understanding, all right? I just need you to do number 1, number 3, and number 5 right now, okay? If you finish early and you want to go on, wonderful. There are definitely more that you can do, okay? But between now and when we leave, 1, 3, and 5, all right? I can help you if you need some help, and we will go over the answers here about 5 minutes before we leave, okay?